Hey everybody, welcome back to Keeping It Real with Tiff and Carl. I am Carl Raven.
I'm Tiff, but I'm tired Tiff. You can call me that today.
And as we mentioned in our last episode, we are live coming from the end of the 2025 National um,
Tribal TANF.
Tribal TANF Institute. I almost said Keystone Conference, which is Boys and Girls Club, which I did 20 years ago. That's how tired I am. But see, I have my badge. I'm legit.
Legit.
Yeah, but I'm legitter.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. And so we just spent a week with 200 human service professionals that support tribal tribal TANF programs, so tribal welfare programs across the country. And so, what was your takeaways? How did you feel about it?
It's amazing. And I think people are really like hungry for ways to improve and to navigate through like this uncertainty of right now. I mean, it's no secret that like nationally, social services and safety net programs and services for vulnerable populations have been at risk. And so I think everybody here was just really interesting in making sure that they can still meet the needs of their community in a culturally effective and sensitive way that really meets the needs of their population. So I I love this conference in particular just because it's so like connected. Everybody's so connected, and it's such a sense of community. Like I don't even feel like I'm at work. I'm hanging out with friends, even if I just met them. It's
Yeah,
amazing. Vibe here is immaculate.
yeah, it is immaculate.
Immaculate.
Period.
Period.
Yeah, so we were teaching all week from Tuesday until today, and we all had different areas that we were teaching, and I was working with some of the supervisors that were managing staff, and our friend Karalee just walked by. You want to say hi? You want to pop in and say hi?
And keeps it real.
Yes, this is Karalee Joseph,
Monahoo.
who was one of our keynote speakers and one of our instructors and one of the most amazing people that we know. And
Second that.
yeah, so
So,
we're just talking about what our takeaway was from the institute.
Our takeaway is that we are so grateful for everybody coming and being open and honest and sharing with us and really engaging with one another and sharing a lot about their culture and where they come from because we're all diverse, we're all special and unique. So, if you love to share and you also love to learn, this is a place to be because look at these beautiful people and it's just so fun and we I look forward to it all year, so grateful. Thank you.
And folks, if you ever need to be flown somewhere, she's about to get her pilot's license. So just,
Yeah.
just holler,
Yeah.
give her a ring, she'll come
Yep.
pick you up.
Not a problem. New best friends. Be fly the friendly skies with me.
Done.
Thank
Thank you, Karalee. I don't want to make it weird. Air Oh, you okay? We'll come this way.
This is what happens when we conference show.
See you next year. Yeah. Four.
All right. So as we were mentioning, we all did different classes. The institute is broken up into a couple different tracks where we have managers and line supervisors and case managers. The interesting thing about the case managers was that a majority of the people that were here, this was their first time being at the institute. Yeah,
I noticed that.
yeah. And so it was really something else to see how much they were taking in and how appreciative they were and how much they let us know, that they're looking forward to next year and some great ideas.
I met a young lady from Minnesota. I can't make up I can't do accents.
So she's an hour from Fargo.
Yes, you met her too.
I met her too.
And every time I saw her, she was like, "This is amazing. I'm so glad I got to come here. I can't wait." I already called my boss and said, "We all need to come next year. Make it a work family trip." And I was so grateful because that's like the environment we want to create. We want people to come here voluntarily, not because they have to come, because they get to come. And again, celebrate. It's not just about learning, it's about celebration. It's about connection and community. And we have so many like fun activities that we do. Like we have a welcome dinner, always a great speaker. And then we have, the beating corner, which is fabulous. And then we have cultural night where everybody gets to share their tradition. It's just so beautiful. It's just, and I'm not native, and I get something out of this every single year.
Absolutely. And
Oh, here comes trouble.
here comes the star of the show.
Scoot in. Scoot, scoot, scoot. We have very expensive production here.
And we want you to know.
We have the director who's
Yeah.
trained, so
So he's going to be sitting there like this with us.
Judging. The judgment.
oh my
To the
goodness.
left. To the left. That's right. So joining us today is Jackie Dela Cruz,
Hola.
who has actually been working for UC Davis longer than us combined. So
1998.
1998.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I started in 2007 and you, what, 2016 or 15?
16.
Yeah. So it's just about the same amount
And
of
we're
time,
still hanging in there,
right?
Yeah,
dedicated to the cause.
better than ever.
I'm telling you, I'm always expecting that this turns out to be something else. I don't know why. And it turns out to be the most refreshing, re-energizing, the most connection. And I learned so much about what am I really committed to and what really is my purpose.
Yeah. I always say it's the best thing I do every year. It's my
Yeah.
favorite thing to do every year.
I agree.
Yeah.
I look forward to it
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Jackie gave our closing ceremony keynote, and she just did a very inspirational and beautiful discussion on how to live through, our lives with and dealing with the fear and despair that we have, but also to be able to live, follow our heart. And she's her whole story is something she needs to be on a full episode.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what I thought about? I think that's probably the first or second time that I've told those stories. And two of those stories my husband has never heard.
Oh, wow.
And it isn't because there was no shame or anything. I was just waiting but what does it mean? Right? And the fact that, some people tell me, you are so fearless. You have no fear. Oh no, I have fear. It's just that it doesn't hold a place in my life to stop me from doing whatever it is, right? And also this idea that, boy, I have seen desperation in my life. And what's currently happening in this country is, for me, it's just, you can name it so many things, but for me, it's just this desperation, this loss of humanity, well, just we don't understand who we are. Excuse me, let me correct. There's some of us who don't understand who we are.
Yeah.
And how can you strip yourself of that humanity, of that love, of that compassion? It has to take its toll. I really do believe that. And I do believe that for those of us who are staying focused on being of service to others, it is such a relief for me that I have that vision, that I'm continuing to do the things. And it's the small things, it's the everyday things that really keep me going. So I've just moved in Anchorage behind Walmart. So that's a whole story. I live in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was so fascinating is that Alaska's this really interesting place. So I live behind a Walmart, and behind the Walmart is a woods, and there's trails. So it's this wooded area, beautiful. You can go hiking, but then on the far side is about 20-25 homeless people. So my jam with them is that I bring them whatever it is after an event. And the very first time I lost faith in them and myself, because I pulled up and I see 25 people and I thought they are all going to come at me. Never. One person comes, gets whatever it is that I'm offering, and then everybody waves and says thank you. Right, but there was a moment that it was that fear, like what happens if, and I said, no, I'm here with positive intentions, and I'm trying to do the best that I can. And if that would have happened, I know I would have thought of some other way of being of service. But they are awesome, and they also say thank you in so many native Alaskan languages too. And so that, I mean, it's just amazing.
You mentioned the idea of intentions, and that's so important. I mean, because the fear exists in all of us,
Yeah.
especially when we don't know what to expect. And there's always that thing in the back of our head that says, be on guard, protect yourself, right? That's a natural instinct. Self-preservation is a natural
Yes, it
instinct. And
is.
you push past that because your intentions, being intentional, we talk a lot about that,
Yeah.
about being intentional with our thoughts and our actions. And that's a perfect example,
Yeah.
right? Of being intentional to say, I may not know exactly what's happening, but I know what my intention is for this interaction.
Yeah. And then for me, the other side of that is I can have the best intention and it can still go awry and hurt somebody or insult somebody, and then having the courage to go, "No, sorry. The first thing, that's not my intention. No, I say, I apologize.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear what my thought process
Yeah.
was?" And I just had a interaction with my daughter about something that I did, and but my intention, and she's like, "Mom, I understand, but and this is what the result was." And I said, "I am so sorry. How else can it look like, right? Because then you're into savior syndrome, right? You're like, oh, I know best." Um,
I'm a triangle.
Drama
Yeah.
triangle,
Yeah.
the victim triangle. And for those of us who were raised with that training, I am always shocked how I am so willing to blame and shame. That's the furthest thing in my mind, but the training is like that. It's like, batting right hand. It's like, oh, now bat left-handed. Oh, that's gonna take some thought. But this is what I feel that we need to do right now. We need to really give thought to who we are as a people, as a collection of people, and what our collective intentions are. Because this is not going to end in a way that the consequences are not going to be, I can't even think anymore beyond what are the consequences.
Sometimes that even that thinking is so overwhelming because you're like, I want to change the world, and that's a lot to bite. But how about instead of changing the world, you change one little interaction at a time? And so I'm a big advocate of kindness, right? Like, regardless of how you approach me, I'm gonna try to be kind to you, try to be understanding. I'm not always good at it. Let me just be honest. I really try.
Well, I'm a New Yorker, so
But I really do try to, like, okay, you're coming at me a little hot, but let's talk about that and figure it out. I'm not going to kind of match your energy until I need to.
yes,
Um, but but it's like one interaction at a time, and like, what can you give? Maybe you can't fix it all, but what can you do that's going to get us one step closer to, again, loving our neighbors again and being able to have civil conversations. And maybe I don't agree with you, but let me understand where you're coming from.
yes.
Find some common ground, and then maybe find us. Um, and so,
Go ahead, have one.
yeah,
Yeah.
treat yourself. So, but that's kind of like where my mentality is I can't really control what other people are doing. And it's easy to vilify. It's
Yes, yes.
seductive. It's seductive because that's where our brains go. But but it's yeah, but it's imagine, like, if you're part of the solution and you can say this happened and this is how I was able to overcome it, then you get all those other benefits, and you get to be part of something better. You get to live the values, not just profess.
Yes, yeah.
I told a story today. I talk about my mom. She listens to this, so sorry, mom, but someone had to say it. But my mom's an old hippie, and she's all about peace, love, and happiness. Like, still wears tie-dye, still has the
I love her.
best. But my mom, like, really preaches peace, love, and happiness all the time. Like, why can't we just love each other? And she's the first one to choose violence. My mom is the first one to say,
Hippie violence, yeah.
My grandma.
Yeah, yeah.
brother's wedding, she had two guys in a headlock because they were talking crap to my, like my mom is a wild one. And so it's like when we really like we can profess our values all day long, but how do we live them? And I think that's where as a society a lot of people are adamant that these are my beliefs, these are my values, and then they do the opposite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where we got to come back together.
And we're not compassionately curious. That's
No.
something I've been thinking about because I was talking to one of my mentors about someone who's really irking my last nerve, right? And I'm going on and on and on. And he asked me, "Can you describe some qualities about that person?" I said, she's just so super focused. And so, she analyzes everything and every deadline has to be met. And so my mentor said, "So let me understand this. She's the opposite of you." And I went, "Oh, I went, what? Say more." She goes, "Oh, so you're describing, I'm not passing judgment on anybody. You just described a list of things. Would you say you're the most organized person?" I'm like, "No." "Would you say you're the most focused person?" I'm like, "No." "Would you say you analyze everything to death?" I go, "Absolutely not." "Okay, thank you." And so that was that she asked me, be compassionately curious about how I'm how are you interacting in this world? Because you think that you're the cat's meow, ladies and gentlemen. That's how old I am. Cat's meow. Um, and but someone else, I told the group today to make a list of what's really annoying about some staff member. Name, do not name. And then I said, "You know what? I can bring all these staff members here and they would say, think about somebody who really annoys you. And you know what? Your name would be on that list." And people were like, "No, it wouldn't." Yes, it would be, right? Because it's that self-examination and reflection of our relationship with others. Right. I mean, you can bebop along and do whatever you want in your house, I'm in your pajamas. Right, but what is the quality of our compassionate curiosity when we have so like conflicts with people and what's up?
Yeah, we talk about being intentionally curious all the time, rather than what's wrong with you, what happened to you.
Yeah.
And that's such a powerful way of looking at things. But we have to trick our brains to get there.
Yes.
'Cause we want to, even if we don't want to choose violence, we want to choose building a wall to protect ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
I had a hot tip today, and that was because we were talking about like the conflict, the courageous conversations, and like connecting with people. And so, like one of the things I practice and I shared is that when problems come up, and they will, right? And they will, that before you go to the blame, the shame, and what's wrong, to stop and pause and say, before I complain, what can I be grateful for?
Yes.
Can I be grateful for this is a one-time event? Can I be grateful for there's a solution? Can I be grateful there's a lot of things that this person brings to the table that I don't have? And we still have a problem to solve, but now I'm not coming at it from such a place of anger or frustration. It's just a situation that needs to be addressed. And I feel like that switches something in your brain because I have lots of people I don't love a whole lot, you know, but there's still really good qualities about them. And I'm not always thinking about those good qualities because I'm trying to justify why I don't care about them as much as I'd like to. I'm just being honest, but there's still good things about them. There's nobody who's all good or all bad. And even the people I love the most have things about them that maybe I don't appreciate every aspect of them, but they're still.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I try to give that grace to the people I don't care about just as much as I give it to the people I do care about.
Can I share? We just had a conversation before we started the podcast
Yeah.
where she was saying, this person didn't really say anything to me, so I approached them and I talked to them, and they were very nice. But then nothing again today. And so she said, so I wonder if maybe she's just very quiet, rather than saying, what's wrong with her?
Why is she talking to moi?
That's her growth,
Yeah.
her personal growth,
Yeah.
rather than which weapon will I use to go to battle,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I just think maybe they're just not a chatty person. And I'm like, hey, that's why I love Jackie. Because
Yes.
And I'm stuck in between. It's
every time we see each other,
introvert
So-
sandwich. That's what it is.
and you love it. And you love it.
Well, somebody has to talk. I mean,
So
But she may not be like that. And this is where I'm having to kind of process that to say maybe it's not personal. She's just not a chatty person and not very open, and that's okay. That's okay.
let's take a little bit further, which is where I am right now. what if she doesn't like you?
So what?
Right. I mean, for me, that's like, wait a minute, why wouldn't anybody like this, right? And I'm quite surprised at how I am buying into that, that it's okay. So I've been listening to this podcast. You might have heard this guy. His name is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And he was saying the question was, how do you interact? Here's His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He goes, oh no. There are 9 billion people on this planet. If I introduce myself, I'm His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I'm separate because I am the only Dalai Lama. And then he said, and if I had a wife, Mrs. Dalai Lama, well, maybe, but he says, I don't go into that thinking I'm that role because it pulls him out of being. He goes, no, I am one of the other 9 billion people on this planet. And I thought, I mean, for me, as a Buddhist practitioner, there's no higher office, there's no one above him or outranks him. And for him to have said that, I was like, yeah, when do I walk in like, hey, I'm Jackie Della Cruz, UC Davis instructor? Because then, even that's pushed on me sometimes. Sometimes people be like, oh, you're a UC Davis instructor? And I'm like, they don't pay that much. No, scratch that. Edit.
Like, have your people call our people. We're fighting for our lives over here. Sharon, we got one that passes.
Uh,
But I hear you on that because I like to be real intentional. Like being egalitarian is like something that's really important to me, maybe because I was raised by hippies.
yes.
One of the things I intentionally don't do in classes is I don't have people share their job titles ever. I never ask people to share their job titles.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I don't is because we're all equal, we're all learning together. And so where you're at on the organizational chart has nothing to do with what you have to take away from the class. And so there have been times where I've walked up to people in classes and like one person showed up like 45 minutes late to a mandatory civil rights training. And I said, you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the session, but you won't get credit. You have to come back for the first 45 minutes.
Yes.
And she's like, I'll come back. I said, perfect. And then someone's like, that's our director. And I said, she should have been on time.
Hello.
And then another one,
Was he on director time? Oh.
but I had another one where I was doing a class and there was a person, she kept answering every question, which I don't usually like mind. I like when people really kind of dominating. And so I went and sat with her on break and I said, I really do appreciate your willingness to be vulnerable and share. But could I ask you a favor? Could you just pause for a few more seconds and give some other people a chance to share their perspective? And she's like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And she did. And then she came up to me later and she's like, I'm the deputy director and I've never had anybody tell me to shut up so kindly. And I said, you're welcome. And it brought a lot of work.
Yeah.
It brought a lot of work. Again, the kindness, not the annoyance. But I think that equality, and I never, like, I'm Tiffany Salcido. And I'm like, Tiffany, I'm Tiffany or Tiff.
Yes.
That's how it
Yes. I'm like, hola, I'm Jackie. Well,
Yep.
for that, because I've been not beating myself about this, but for a long time I've been saying, darn it, I never get around to asking people what their jobs are, the title. And I think in my mind, I've been thinking I've never actually articulated it or brought it to but I just always drop it as unnecessary because what does that mean? And in the Air Force and the military, they always say, if anything, respect the rank and the uniform. You don't have to like or respect that person. And so that was a real my time in the Air Force really gave me many gifts, and that is one of the gifts. Of course, I mean, whatever you did to become, I mean, I look at directors, I look at CEOs. These are people that are working round the clock, constantly managing all these people. But at the end of the day, your worth is not any more than the janitor, right? Because, and I always say this funny thing in class. I was like, okay, folks, what if every one of your managers did not come in for a whole week? What would happen? And they're like, what do you mean? I mean, what would be the result? They say, nothing, because everybody's doing the work. And I said, but what if all of you decided not to come in for a week? And they all just start laughing because, you know,
If the janitor doesn't come in and the customers feel the the office not being well kept, who's going to catch the shit?
Yes,
The manager.
yes,
Right? So
exactly.
that's what I do that all the time. I talk to them. You think you're in payroll. You don't think you're in human services and you work in
Yeah.
HR. You don't think that your actions directly affect our clients?
Yeah.
Because, if you're in payroll and you mess up the payroll and people don't get paid on time, you
Oh,
think that they're going to give the same energy
yeah,
to
no,
their client when they're trying to worry about how they're going to pay the rent?
yeah,
Right. So your actions directly affect our bottom line as much as anybody else. So don't
yes,
demean yourself, don't diminish yourself, and don't think that you are not part of the solution or even part of the problem.
exactly.
And something else you said earlier that I really liked, you said you're talking to your daughter and you said yes, but then you changed yes and. So that shows, first of all, David's got you in some improv classes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Always
And
say yes and.
yes and, but yes and is such an important piece of the intentionality,
Yeah,
right? Because we want to go to yes, but, right? I hear you, but you're wrong. Yes and is I
I have
hear
a
you,
different perspective.
and we have a different perspective. Let's
yeah,
lean into that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Do you know how I try to make that memorable? I always say we like big butts, but we like big ands even better. Place your butts with ands because it's
Like big and.
I love
Uh,
ands and I do a half choreography. It's a whole situation.
you have to videotape that.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
That costs extra.
Oh, well, okay.
But I do agree. I agree. It's like I know it's such like a small nuance in language, but it has such a big impact because if I say but this, it
Yep.
two things can be true at the same time, right? I can hurt you and not have meant it. I can still acknowledge the impact and still acknowledge my intention.
Yeah.
And that's what moves us to collective.
And it invalidates your
Right,
perspective,
right, right.
right? When I say but, I'm right and
Yeah.
you're wrong.
Yeah.
And is we have different perspectives. How do we marry those and how do we recognize that each of those perspectives are valid and that need to be addressed for us to be able to move forward?
And people are too enamored with the butt.
They love butts.
Doing
And
sex,
there is no
sexy.
and. There's no and now.
Yeah.
I used to remember, oh man, I'm gonna sound like I used to remember the day. It was
It's okay. We're all
okay.
from the 1900s.
I like oranges. You like apple. Oh, well, good for you. Hey, there's actually a sale on orange. I don't understand that everything, it's that but.
Mhm.
People are in love with, I'm listening to you, but,
Mhm.
and not trying that and. Oh, so I understand this is how you feel, and this is my lived experience.
Mhm.
Follow
Go.
me down this path real quick.
We will go willingly.
Do you think that this like constant desire to be right? Because I think that's what the bud is about, is this constant desire to be right. Can we connect that to having access to information at our fingertips where everybody thinks they're an expert in everything because they Googled it?
I think that was the drive to getting the information at your fingertips. The knowing that we're right is part of our collective subconscious. It's part of our homeostasis our brain wants to be in. She's a Stanford business, uh, uh, she's certified, so she knows what I'm talking about, right? So, that idea of we want to know what to expect. And so
Yes.
our beliefs are rooted, deep within us, especially if you learn them at a young age, right?
Yeah.
So even if we hear something that makes sense but is not ascribing to what we believe, our brain wants to reject it.
Yes.
And so I think that following up that information real quick, that's something I think we created smartphones and smart technology to be able to verify that stuff subconsciously. I think we're
Yes.
part of it.
I'm like even thinking deeper because again, going back to the olden days in the 1900s, before we had all of this technology at our fingertips,
Say the 1900s.
hundreds. That's where I'm from the
Me
1900s.
too.
I am not from the 1900s.
No?
Are you from the 1800s? That's our only option.
Good one. Good one, Divina. Good one.
Yeah. No, I believe it. But with that, we had to do like you were a subject matter expert in maybe a few things because to get information, you had to go to the library, you had to find a book, you had to read a book. There wasn't any you couldn't do a control F. Where do I find this chapter?
Yes, yes,
So people, I think, were a little bit less liberal with offering their opinions of being experts on everything because there was no way to quickly validate.
exactly.
But now people read one article and they believe it as the objective truth. And then you have a differing opinion because you read a different article with a different bias, and we butt because we both want to be right,
Yes.
experts in nothing.
And whoever was the expert in the patriarchal system that is the
Right.
United States, right? If you were in the ivory tower, if you had that degree, then you were always right. But I wanted to share a little viejita thing. Viejita translation, old lady.
From the 1800s.
So
She's not from the 1800s.
what I'm finding as I get older is that I am agreeing that you are absolutely right.
Right.
Because my whole thing is, yes, you're right. Yes, you're the smartest. Yes, you're the prettiest. Can I go home and get in my pajamas and eat my ice cream and stream Netflix? Like the older that I get, the more I realize that has nothing to do with my world. You want to seem like you want to roll up on me like, oh, I know, and I'm the best, and I'm like,
Proud
I
of you.
am so happy for you because
For you.
yes, because what I really want to do is I look more for comfort now. And not just like the physical comfort, but the friendship comfort and the relationship comforts and the people that we're willing to go, you so stupid. That's not even right. Okay, where are we gonna go for dinner, right? And so I'm seeking more of not that combative, like I'm right, because okay, what does right mean and how does that get me more money?
I said right and wrong. Right and wrong are social constructs.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
and wrong
well,
social construct too.
well, it just to me, and I'm going to say I have to argue just slightly a little bit here. There are like questions that are like one system questions. There's a right and wrong. Like
Yes,
I can't make 2 + 2 equal something else. There's
yes,
mathematically it's going to be one thing.
yes.
And there's also like subjective things. So who sells the best tacos? You might say it's well, Carl might say Taco Bell, but I would say like El Flamazo in Ensenada.
I
Yo
would say
quiero Taco Bell.
I really
it's Jim Boys. I'm
oh
sorry.
Jim Boyce has got good tacos. So but it's subjective.
Yes,
Right
yes.
there's no right answer.
In
It's our opinion.
yes,
But most of like the life's questions are multi-system questions,
yes.
better or worse answers, and in different circumstances. You can be right and I can be right, even if we exactly agree.
And what's really fascinating is like being in a system, people are always shocked to find out that I was in the military. They're like, wait, what? No way. But I love that system of working on an airplane
Mhm.
where there were 36 manuals where you had to tighten everything to 92, pounds PSI. I like that. And it was really comforting to me coming from chaos.
Right.
So I am going to have to go because the esposo who's traveled so far. Hey, listen, when are we doing this again? Because I am loving this.
We'll let our people contact you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what's next on the plate? Where are you guys? Because you have exciting. Jackie's always have exciting stuff going on. So
So the next thing that we're going to do is I don't know. David just retired. My hubby is retired.
Even too. That's
And just finding out, I am doing a lot of clarity around purpose because this is not a doom and gloom. This is not a morbid thought. I'm turning 64 this year, so I have less time in front of me than I have lived. And with my traumatic brain injury, and as I'm seeing things kind of, I'm noticing. I'm going to share this with you. The other day, I dropped my car keys, and for about 5 seconds, I could not identify what that thing on the floor was. And then it came to me. And so people are like, oh my God. I'm like, no, no, no. It's making me not hyper, but very mindful. And so it's collaborations about who is it that I want to collaborate with, because I've said yes way too many times to, as my first graders would say, poo-poo head stuff, right? And so I'm working, I would say, really hard on very getting clear about um, the engagements that I have been in and the relationships that I have been trying to force. And now I'm like, wait a minute, right? Is that and? It's not that, but mom, or but this, or but that. It's like, oh, my mom. Oh, by the way, folks, my mother has disowned me. She changed the will. Um, so she's not talking to me. She changed the will. My brother and I are on the outs, and my sister's in the in. So my brother and I call each other and go, "Oh no, mom doesn't call us anymore."
You want my mom to beat your mom up? Because she will.
I think we should just trade moms every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When she called in that anger, I mean, there was a lot of childhood stuff. And then I went, oh, wait a minute. I said, Mom, if that's how you feel it's really important, then if you feel that, my sister is the person to best take care of you, I want to support that. Oh, she didn't like that, but there was such a relief in because I do know that the and is she calls, she needs, I need to fly out there, I'm going to do it. It's not a but. Well, if she's going to act this way, so that's what I will sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that. Okay, we also do singing, folks.
Yeah.
Thing is extra.
Da. Thank you for being who you are.
We still
I love you so much. We
I'm
are
always happy
going.
to share space with you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And
Thank you, David. Say thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
and since her husband's here, she thinks Denzel's her boyfriend and he's my boyfriend, but that's another day.
He is mine. He's mine.
Fine. Thank you.
My name is. You can have it if you want. You want me to have it?
I don't want to be Carlito.
Okay. All right.
Yaquisita.
Got it.
Thank you.
Love you.
But so much love, safe travels. Thank you. We do have to come.
Yeah.
You're tired.
So
But
that's awesome. Let's do a top 5 institute. Top 5 things at the institute.
dessert table,
The dessert table.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Look at, I even have one like on standby. Like these little, it's like they're like one little cup. So how do you feel bad about them? But then you have 27, and then all of a sudden your pants don't fit.
And can I tell you, they
Mhm.
sell those at the food court for like $6 a pop, and we had so many that didn't get eaten. So
So I've had $647 worth of desserts over the last 3 days. I've had way too many of them. So I'm gonna go dessert cart number 1.
dessert cart number 1. So then I'll go.
Okay.
The sausage link at breakfast. So I love a good sausage link, especially when they're tubed and they crackle and
Oh yeah. Oh, good casing.
good casings. These things were this thick. I mean,
Didn't have them, but
it was awesome. So how about number 3?
number 3 is we did this little thank you circle and we got to shake every single person's hand who was here. And that was like the most heartwarming, amazing, like feeling of mutual gratitude. And it really kind of lifted my spirits. And I was so like, so many people were like, can I get a hug?
Yeah.
Bring it in. So just that connection and the love that was shared in that circle to me was super amazing. I loved it so much.
So my number 4 is my daughter has been volunteering at the Institute the last 5 years, and she gets to interact and experience with folks, not only just from people across the state, but from Alaska, from Washington, from Idaho, from Minnesota,
Minnesota.
right? And from Muskogee Land in Oklahoma. And she gets such a broad perspective of how people live, how they thrive, what their daily practices are and what's important to them.
Yeah.
For 24-year-old, I just, it's invaluable.
I love it. So can I say, I don't even know what number I'm on, but I think this is 5. Can I just say Otilia?
Oh yeah,
Otilia.
I'll tell you.
And everybody else. But I think this is like Otilia loves this so much. Like, and this Amy's amazing, and Katie's been great, and Christy's been here, and Michelle comes, and Maureen. Like, we have such a great crew. I hope I didn't forget anybody because I'm gonna be in trouble if I do.
Yeah.
But I
Kim,
Kim, oh yes, and Kim was here. Yes, Kim. But Otilia puts her heart and soul into this, and she cares so much about the outcome. And she had her family here, and she ran around like a chicken with her head all the way cut off this time. But she does such a great job, and I just love her so much. So I appreciate everybody, but Otilia, that's my top five.
Just to see her light up.
And Carl, you're cool too. Carl does a lot of work for this too. So thank you, Carl, for what you do too.
Said it's my favorite thing every year, and I'll keep doing it till they tell me they don't want me here, and then I'll still pop in and I'll push around the dessert cart. So, you know,
Make sure you drive it by me a couple times. Oh, or I'll find you. Don't worry, I'll go to where you're at. I'll call it exercise. Ooh.
so we're gonna wrap up because Tiffany has a grandfather clock.
Father clock, and I'm really excited about like talking about like traditions and like culture. This grandfather clock was my grandparents. It was my grandpa's grandfather clock. How ironic. And it is the sound is from my childhood. Like my happiest childhood memories involve that clock and visiting my grandparents and I have the greatest grandparents in the world. And so getting this clock back up and running and having that chime in my house is really like full circle, and I'm super freaking excited. And this is the only day my clock guy can come, so I got to go clock out so I can go clock in for the grandfather clock.
Sure. So I get to go clock into my room and be a turtle until tomorrow morning.
Hit sub-zero on that AC.
I'm tired, y'all. I got my 10,000 steps in, so I've done all right. I wonder if I can get room service.
I'm sure you can.
Find out.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm Carl.
I'm Tiff.
Keep it real, yo.
Keep it real.
Keep it real, and
And
even more real.
exactly. Be good to each other. Be good people. That's all. Be good people.
No assholes.
Bye.